What's up, true crime besties? So, today's case is one that sounds so unbelievable that investigators actually struggled to convince people it was real. Because for years, everyone thought this woman was alive, sending texts, emails, threats. The truth was way more disturbing. This is the story of 37-year-old single mom Cari Farver. Cari lived in Omaha, Nebraska, and worked as a computer programmer. Friends described her as smart, independent, and totally devoted to her son. In November of 2012, Cari had recently started seeing a man she met online named Dave. The relationship wasn't super serious, but they had been spending time together. Then, one morning, after spending the night together, Cari suddenly vanished. But here's where things start to get weird. Right after she disappeared, Dave received a text message from Cari. It basically said she had decided to move away to Kansas and start a new life, which already seemed strange because Cari had a young son she loved more than anything. But the texts didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, Dave started getting dozens of text messages from Cari, and they were not normal. They were angry, obsessive, sometimes even threatening. And it didn't take long before other people started receiving them too. Friends and family, even Dave's new girlfriend was receiving them. Everyone believed Cari was spiraling somewhere out there, but they just didn't know where she was. But what investigators eventually discovered turned this entire case upside down. For the next several years, the messages kept coming. There were so many texts, emails, fake social media accounts, hundreds and hundreds of messages that appeared to be coming directly from Cari Farver. Some of them were incredibly disturbing. She threatened people, harassed Dave constantly, and even stalked his new girlfriend online, which is super odd because she's the one that wanted to move away and have this new life. At one point, someone even burned down Dave's house. And people started wondering if Cari was actually responsible. Police tried to locate her multiple times, but every time they attempted to track her, it seemed like she had just completely disappeared. People had even said she was not really known to just like fly off the rails like this. This was very unlike her, especially considering that she had a son. Meanwhile, the messages just kept coming for 4 years. Investigators eventually started looking closer at the digital evidence behind the messages, and something strange started showing up. The IP addresses sending many of the messages weren't actually coming from Cari. They were coming from someone else entirely, someone much closer to the situation than anyone realized. Because the person pretending to be Cari had been around the entire time. And when detectives uncovered the truth, it revealed one of the most shocking catfishing killing cases investigators had ever seen. Investigators eventually traced the messages back to a woman named Shanna Golyar. Shanna had also been involved with the same man Cari had been dating. Police now believed that on the very day Cari disappeared in 2012, that Shanna had taken her life. Investigators later determined Cari had likely been killed inside her own car. Her body was then disposed of and hidden, but what Shanna did next is really just so disturbing. For the next 4 years, Shanna pretended to be Cari. She sent hundreds of messages pretending Cari was alive. She created those fake accounts. She was the one who harassed everybody and threatened Dave and his girlfriends, all to make it look like Cari had simply run away and was stalking everyone from afar. Eventually, digital forensic investigators were able to prove the messages were being sent from devices connected to Shanna. In 2000, that was a strange accent. Anyway, in 2017, Shanna was convicted of the killing and sentenced to life in prison. Cari Farver's remains were never fully recovered, but investigators were finally able to prove what had happened. This case was one of the most disturbing examples of digital stalking and identity deception ever solved. Tell me in the comments, when did you realize something was seriously wrong in this story? Because for investigators, the truth didn't come out for 4 entire years.